think the real significance of these on-ramps to crypto being shut down is that as people lose faith in certain stable coins, or they lose faith in crypto exchanges, or if they lose faith in crypto asset securities, like the crypto tokens that the SEC is currently going after, they exit those positions. And since they're not going to withdraw their money back into fiat banks because there are no off-ramps, the natural trade is to trade all those crypto assets for Bitcoin, and then put their monetary energy into the Bitcoin network. So I think this is all fairly bullish for Bitcoin.
Michael Saylor, a well-known Bitcoin advocate and an American businessman, has been very active in 2023 with his software and business intelligence company, MicroStrategy. When the firm paid off its loan to the now-defunct Silvergate Bank in March at a 22% discount, it garnered media attention. Additionally, it added about 7,500 Bitcoins to its collection, keeping its title as the publicly traded business with the largest Bitcoin holding globally. The Virginia-based company released its first quarter 2023 earnings earlier this week. MicroStrategy reported an impairment loss of $18.9 million in the first quarter, a significant decrease from the $197.6 million impairment loss reported in the fourth quarter of 2022. This is a far smaller accounting write-down than it was for the previous 4 quarters. The company's chief financial officer, Andrew Kong, stated on the earnings call that the company's belief in Bitcoin is still high. By completely repaying the debt secured by Bitcoin, Kong said that we strengthened our capital structure by reducing leverage. 7,500 Bitcoin were added to our balance sheet during the quarter, as part of our ongoing strategic balance sheet management efforts. As the world of digital assets continues to develop, we are still confident in our Bitcoin strategy. Saylor, the company's previous CEO and the brains behind the adoption of the Bitcoin strategy, made an appearance on CNBC to talk about the company's Bitcoin strategy, the positive first quarter profitability, and some of the events affecting Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market as a whole. The 58-year-old company leader claims that holding onto a prominent cryptocurrency and putting up with its volatility is the best investment approach. There is no substitute for Bitcoin as the ideal digital scarcity network, according to Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. In a CNBC interview, Saylor also expresses his opinions on the ongoing banking crisis in the US and how it is influencing the uptake of Bitcoin. Saylor claims that the crackdown on the cryptocurrency industry and the problems in the banking sector have been, and will continue to be, factors in the rise of Bitcoin prices. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable post alerts for future videos like this before we start listening to Michael Saylor's interview.
We have progressively built up a Bitcoin position up to 140,000 Bitcoin over the past 2.5 years. When Bitcoin traded from 66,000 all the way down to 16,000, we took an impairment loss. In the course of the last 12 weeks, that Bitcoin position has traded up $2 billion in fair market value. So, of course, when it's trading down, there are tax consequences and indefinite intangible write-offs. But when it's trading up, we reverse some of the tax accounting. The indefinite intangible treatment hasn't changed any. But I think the short of it is the software business is very stable, and it's a cash cow. And we use it to pay our interest on our debt and to acquire more Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin itself is our belief that Bitcoin is the ultimate digital scarcity network. And because Bitcoin has been moving up about 50% a year on average over the last 3 years, the real key with Bitcoin is just to be able to hold on to it and stomach the volatility. And we have conditioned our shareholders and our bondholders to understand that we're long-term hodlers, and because everybody is aligned in that interest, we're able to weather that volatility, and we end up doing very, very well as Bitcoin recovers. I think right now there are two twin drivers, right? There's the macroeconomic concern about inflation, and as inflation takes place, people lose confidence in fiat currencies. And that means they start to realize that everything valued on cash flows is a currency derivative, and Bitcoin is not valued on cash flows. It's in a digital scarcity. The failure of the banks, Silvergate Bank, Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, now First Republic Bank, causes people in the Western world to start to lose a little bit of faith in the banking system. And they remember that Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace run by incorruptible software. So the phrase "be your own bank" has emerged as an investment idea in the United States, but it's really a matter of financial survival elsewhere. And so the combination of that concern about inflation and counterparty risk with banks is driving Bitcoin's adoption. It's also being driven, by the way, by the crypto crackdown. And as people lose faith in crypto exchanges, crypto securities, and cryptocurrencies, there's a natural migration of capital from those crypto ecosystems into Bitcoin, since it's viewed as the risk-off safe haven asset of the crypto space. Well, I think what happened to Silvergate is unfortunate. I'll note that they weren't seized by the regulators. They're not in receivership. They actually were able to return all their deposits, and they're working out of that situation in a responsible fashion. And so my hat is off to them. I think it's very, very difficult time for any bank that had a large portfolio of long-dated bonds and interest rates surging from almost nothing to 5% in 12 months, I think is largely responsible for the difficulties that the banking sector has undergone. I think for those that are acquiring and holding Bitcoin, it doesn't make a big difference. I think the real significance of these on-ramps to crypto being shut down is that as people lose faith in certain stable coins, or they lose faith in crypto exchanges, or if they lose faith in crypto asset securities, like the crypto tokens that the SEC is currently going after, they exit those positions, and since they're not going to withdraw their money back into fiat banks because there are no off-ramps, the natural trade is to trade all those crypto assets for Bitcoin, and then put their monetary energy into the Bitcoin network. So I think this is all fairly bullish for Bitcoin. People are trying to figure out what they can trust, and Bitcoin is the most trustworthy crypto asset. It's the most trustworthy crypto network. There is no second best.
MicroStrategy currently owns 140,000 Bitcoins, which it purchased for almost $4.17 billion at an average price of $29,803 per Bitcoin, as of April 4, 2023. All rumors of a margin call for MicroStrategy have been put to rest by the repayment of the Silvergate loan. In order to totally and freely repay the $205 million loan backed by Bitcoin, the analytics company paid $161 million, according to Saylor. The bank that failed in March released to MicroStrategy 34,619 Bitcoin as collateral after the repayment. In addition to Bitcoin, MicroStrategy also recorded some profitable software sales. The company reported a 12.9% rise in total sales from the first quarter of 2022 to the first quarter of 2023, totaling $121.9 million. After posting a loss of $130.8 million, or $11.58 per share, in the first quarter of 2022, the company's net income for the first quarter of 2023 increased to $461.2 million, or $31.79 per share. MicroStrategy stock has increased by 6.68 today and by 126.28 year-to-date. What do you think of Saylor's unshakable belief in Bitcoin and his claim that the banking sector crisis and the crackdown by US regulators are both positive factors for the most valuable crypto asset? In the section below, please share your thoughts and views. Be sure to set up post alerts for future videos like this, subscribe to the channel, and indicate your appreciation for this one. Thank you so much for watching.